Hi and welcome back to the British Accent Podcast. I'm Emily, and today we're diving into a fun and surprisingly powerful technique that many learners overlook: talking to your mirror.
Hello, I'm Nick. And yes, this might sound a bit strange at first, but using Solitude, especially mirror talk, is one of the most effective and low-pressure ways to practice speaking English, even if you're a bit shy or don't have a partner.
Exactly. When you talk to your mirror, you're not just speaking randomly, you're giving yourself a space to hear your voice in English, get used to your rhythm, and see how your face moves with different sounds. It's actually a really personal kind of training.
And it helps build confidence too. Because let's be honest, speaking out loud can feel awkward. But when you're alone, in front of the mirror, there's no one to judge. You can experiment, mess up, try again, all in your own time.
I used to recommend this a lot to students who told me they were too nervous to speak in class or with others. I'd say, just have a full-on conversation with yourself in the mirror. Start with something simple like, "How was your day?" or "What are you planning for tomorrow?"
And once you get into it, it's actually fun. You can role-play different situations, ordering food, having an interview, greeting someone at a party. It prepares you for real-life conversations without the pressure of being in public.
It also forces you to think in English. Because you're trying to keep the conversation going, you have to pull vocabulary from your memory, find new ways to say things, and keep that English flow alive.
Right, and it's that flow that matters. The more you practice keeping a sentence going, even if it's a bit clumsy, the better your brain gets at forming thoughts in English naturally. You're training your thinking, not just your speaking.
And another benefit is facial awareness. When you look at yourself as you speak, you become more aware of your mouth movements, your expressions, even your posture. All of that adds to your communication skills.
Yeah, and especially for pronunciation, it's great to actually see how your mouth forms different sounds. You can compare it to native speakers in videos, then go to your mirror and try to match it.
You're basically becoming your own teacher. It's a very independent way to grow, and I think that builds a lot of personal trust in your progress too. You're not waiting for someone to correct you, you're just exploring and adjusting as you go.
And there's something really empowering about that. Like, I can do this. I don't need to wait for a classroom or a perfect moment. Just you, a mirror, and a bit of quiet time. That's enough to start improving.
And once you build that habit, it becomes part of your routine. Brushing your teeth. Quick chat in the mirror. Getting dressed. Talk through your plans for the day. Even if it's just a few sentences, it keeps English alive in your daily rhythm.
Exactly, and the more natural it becomes, the less nervous you feel in real conversations. Because you've already said it to yourself before, you've practiced the phrases, the questions, the tone. Your brain and your mouth are more prepared.
And if you ever feel stuck, you can pause, think, and try again. You're not being timed. There's no one interrupting. That kind of freedom is rare in a conversation, so it's good to take advantage of it when you're alone.
Sometimes it's even helpful to record those mirror sessions. Just for yourself, not to share. Listening back can help you hear your strong points and the areas where you want to improve. You get a clear idea of how you actually sound.
That's such a useful tip. It turns your practice into a feedback loop. You speak, you listen, you adjust. And every time you do it, you're building stronger speaking muscles and deeper confidence.
And if you're not sure what to say during mirror talk, just narrate what you're doing. I'm making tea, I'm choosing a shirt, I'm thinking about my weekend. These little sentences might seem simple, but they train your brain to describe life in English.
And over time, that habit helps you react faster in real conversations too. Because you've already practiced turning thoughts into words, on the spot, without translating. That's a huge skill for fluency.
Also, don't worry if your grammar isn't perfect during these sessions. It's more about fluency than accuracy at this stage. You're working on flow and comfort, not test-level precision.
Totally agree. You can fix grammar later. But the courage to keep speaking. That's what you're building here. Mirror talk trains you to think and speak without fear, and that's priceless for any learner.
And what's beautiful about it is how low maintenance it is. No apps, no scheduling, no audience. Just your reflection and your voice. It's simple, but really effective if you stick with it.
And for learners who feel lonely in their English journey, mirror talk can actually feel like a bit of companionship. You're connecting with yourself in English, which adds emotional weight to the practice too.
Yeah, it's more than just language, it becomes a form of expression. You can talk about your thoughts, your mood, your goals, all in English. It turns the language into something personal, not just academic.
Sometimes that's exactly what people need, to make English feel less like a task and more like a space where they can be themselves. And that's what Mirror Talk offers. A private, safe space to speak freely.
And once you start, it gets easier. You begin to look forward to those few minutes of English reflection. It becomes a quiet ritual, your time to practice, connect, and reset. And in a way, it helps build emotional resilience too.
Because you're not waiting for ideal conditions, or a perfect study plan. You're just showing up, speaking, trying. And every time you do that, you're becoming more consistent and more confident.
Right, and you'll notice how much it helps in unexpected ways. Maybe you're out shopping or bump into someone who speaks English, and suddenly, those words you practiced in the mirror just come out. Without overthinking, without freezing.
That's the power of repetition and relaxed practice. When you speak regularly, even to yourself, you're making English feel normal, not foreign. You're not just learning it anymore. You're living with it.
And it makes a difference over time. You become more fluid, more expressive, and more present when you speak. It's like your mind isn't searching for the right words as much anymore. They are just there.
And that's when English starts to feel like yours. Not something you're borrowing or memorizing. Something you actually own. And Mirror Talk plays a big part in getting you there.
So if you're sitting alone in your room and wondering how to keep improving, try it. Talk to your mirror, say anything, be silly if you like. Just speak. It's one of the simplest, most powerful things you can do.
And don't worry about feeling weird. Everyone feels a bit odd at first. But that weirdness fades quickly once you see how helpful it is. It's like building a little English corner in your day, where mistakes are allowed and effort is everything.
You can even make it playful. Pretend you're a podcast host, or a teacher, or someone giving a weather report, whatever makes it fun for you. The more relaxed you are, the better your practice will be.
That's such a good point. We often think of practice as something rigid, but Mirror Talk can be full of personality. You get to explore your tone, your style, how you want to sound in English. It's creative, really.
And sometimes it helps to give yourself challenges. Like, I'll speak for 1 minute without stopping, or, I'll describe everything I see in this room. Little goals like that can push you gently out of your comfort zone.
It's not about being perfect. It's about being brave and consistent. Just showing up in front of that mirror and speaking anyway. That's where real progress begins, even when no one else is watching.
And the beauty is, every time you do it, even if it's just for 2 minutes, you're moving forward. Quietly, steadily, you're growing as a speaker.
So if you're ever doubting yourself, remember, progress doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's just you, in front of a mirror, speaking your truth in a second language. And that's powerful.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this inspired you to try Mirror Talk as part of your English journey.
You're doing better than you think. Keep speaking, keep exploring, and we'll see you next time on the British Accent Podcast.